Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel on a steaming, stonking, scorching hot day. Yeah, it's just ludicrously hot now. It's had enough. Want some rain, want some snow, anything but heat and bright sunlight. I think it's something absurd like 34 degrees outside at the moment. And yeah, I'm too fat and hairy for this weather, for certain. Anyway, skyline build, where we got to now? Well, I've not really done a huge amount since last episode, although it probably looks like I have. I actually haven't. We have the lower chassis, and it's rather wobbly at the moment for some reason. No, that's just the way it's sitting. So I'll bring it up and the camera focuses in. There we go. All the interiors together, the roll cage is in and the door panels are on. So that's all done. The side sills have also been painted in the desert yellow or dark yellow, whichever it was, and they're on. So that is basically, put it back in shot. That is basically done for now, so it's now purely down to the bodywork. So we have one body shell that, as I said, has had the black primer knocked back to make sure it's as smooth as possible, then a coat of silver over it, purely just to allow the blue to cover easier, so we don't have to put so much on. Basically, I had some issues with that because it's been so stonking hot and my airbrush was giving me some grief, so that's had a good clean out since, and that's been knocked back. I just spotted a spot which hasn't quite been done yet. Again, just using the UMP buffer, or whichever buffer you prefer. I use the UMP ones. We just making sure we get rid of as much texture in the paint as we can. We're not looking to make it glossy and shiny at the moment. We're just looking for smooth, flat is, it seems the wrong word to use. We're not necessarily looking for flat as in matte paint, just smooth, no texture. Because as you add the layers on, if you have texture low down, it builds up and you have to knock back and knock back and knock back, and you finally get rid of it and you realise you've burnt through all the paint down to the problem was probably with the primer or something like that, and then you end up having to repaint it. And don't ask me how many times I've done that. So I've got a little bit of leftover. This is the decanted TS44. I did put the lid on, but it's not been done up tight. We have a hairy brush, which is no longer sticking on. We can drop the air pressure a little, I think. That's better. Ooh, right. Now again, I will give it the safety spiel. This is a lacquer paint. If you've got a bench vent or extraction system, use that. If you haven't, minimum open a window, wear a mask. This is a definite case of do as I say, not as I do. When I've got the window open, there is quite a draft coming through, and I've got the window open in the other bedroom, so through drafts it will clear out the fumes, but you don't want to be breathing this stuff in if you can help it. Now you'll have noticed the body shell is mounted up on the block of Oasis I use for such things. Just cocktail sticks under it, holding it in place, so it's held off of the block of Oasis. A lot of people will have the Tamiya paint stands, which you'll easily be able to support a body with. I don't have one. I use this. it works just fine for me. Anyway, spraying. Coming through the airbrush fine, and I'm going to get some nasty noises from the hose on the paper covering the workbench, but never mind. So again, we'll apply good even coats. So I'm working around the car in a logical fashion, panel at a time as it were. Basically doing what a full-size car body painter would do, just smaller. Not holding the brush in one place. Not stopping and starting, doing full lines from front to back or left to right or top to bottom, whichever it is. Overlapping on each one. Just to try and keep a wet edge to the paint so you don't end up with dry marks. I think probably not the right term for it, there's probably a correct term for it, but making sure we've got everything. As you can see, we've got a bit of gunk going on the bonnet. So I'll just put a bit more over that just to be sure. And we set that aside to dry somewhere sensible. And as I've not painted the rear wing yet, and I've still got some paint in the cup, we may as well do that. And yes, I'm likely to paint my hand and my cutting mat blue right now, but hey ho. If you've got any awkward corners to do, it's usually a good idea to paint those first. That way you don't end up flooding them too much by trying to get paint into them from an awkward angle. And this is where I'm thinking maybe I should have held this in something. Fortunately, as it is smoking hot, and I'll just pop the airbrush, smack the camera around again, pop the airbrush down, stick a couple of clothes pegs on the wing supports because they're going to be painted a different colour at a later point, and just sit that down so the wing isn't touching anything. Because I've got a little bit more paint left in the airbrush, I may as well use it up. It's not going to hurt to spray more paint on. airbrush is empty. Now, this being a lacquer paint, you won't be able to clean it out with water, and normal thinners or normal acrylic thinner won't work either, so lacquer thinner is about the only way to do it, or it's the easiest way to do it. Lots of people talk about using Windex or all sorts of random chemicals for cleaning out your airbrush. Best things to use are airbrush cleaners. Funny that. Now, a tool that is designed specifically for that job. Screen wash isn't the same thing. I even heard about someone the other day who was recommending using gun cleaner to clean your airbrush, which to me just sounds like overkill or a bad idea, or sort of why. I mean, okay, maybe if you've got a buttload of it, but it just seems silly. You don't use kitchen cleaner in the bathroom, you use bathroom cleaner. So if you're cleaning an airbrush, you use airbrush cleaner. Or is that just me being obvious and silly? I can never be sure. Sometimes and don't do that. Sometimes my logic makes sense to me, but not everyone else goes, what the hell? I'll leave. No, I'll just spray that out. I should be a good boy and spray it out into the airbrush cleaning station. And then give it a swish of airbrush cleaner. So if you're using lacquer paints or enamels, just use the cleaner designed for them, or the thinner that you thin the paint with, because nothing's going to clean it off quicker than the bloody thinner is. And there we go. I'll be a good boy again and just empty that. Clean. What I always do, rather than just leaving the airbrush dry, I just pop a few drops of thinner in it, acrylic thinner. I use that stuff, ultimate thinner, just in case there is anything there. It kind of stops it or reduces the chance of anything gumming up inside. And as most of the time I'm spraying acrylics, if I accidentally put paint in there and forget to empty out the thinner, it's not going to make any difference. Let's have a quick slurp. So we're now up to over 31 degrees in here. And what's next? Let's have a look at the destruction book. Oh, sheet. So all the interiors together, rear lights are together. Next step is masking off for the glass and putting that in, which we aren't going to do yet. And obviously we've already put the rear wing together. The only assemblage is the front underguard now, well, and the mirrors, but hey, I ain't going to worry about them quite yet. So that's D5 and D9, D being the clear sprue. Again, I think the only reason these are in clear, it might be so you can show off your detailing by leaving them clear. I'm thinking it's more likely that, oh, we've got space on the clear sprue, we might as well use that. rather than either making another sprue larger, potentially not fitting in the box, because that is all the glass. So if you took all that out and that out, it's going to add a bit more heft to another sprue, so seems to make sense to me to do them all on the same one, just to use the space up. Tamiya being efficient again, who'd have thunk it? And then let me grab the right one. Need two C14s, and yeah, I am going to have to paint the mirrors at some point, for which I'll have to get sneaky with. What I'll do with those, excuse us, a couple of F14s I think they are, yeah, flyby. With the mirrors I will probably use a very sharp cocktail stick and literally glue it in the middle, because there is a recess. If I bring it up to the camera, you can see down into the recess. I will just dab a super glue and a very tip of a cocktail stick in there, just to hold them in place, so I can again paint them with the TS44. Whether I prime them first or just give them a quick blast with the rattle can, one or the other. So let's get this cleaned up and assembled. I'm assuming this is probably going to be sprayed TS29, which I think is black. We shall soon find out, because I don't have TS29. I suppose one of the ones I should have looked at. I've got a feeling it's probably matte black or something, or semi-gloss black. Doesn't really matter. I'm sure that, yeah, it did have a second sprue gate on it. Oh yes, it's despite having the week off, I don't think I've actually had a chance to rest or recuperate, just because of the weather being so damn hot, which means I can't sleep. Even struggling to have a nap. That's no good for an old fart like me. TS29 semi-gloss black, right. So you know what that means. That means it's going to get primed with UMP primer and left. Actually, which way are we going? So that is, make sure we got it the right way up. Yeah, that'll be the underside. That goes in there. Yep. Does it go all the way in? It is all the way in, it just doesn't feel like, doesn't look like it, because it's clear, you can still see the step. Yes, so we are very nearly done with this. And, well, I say very nearly done. Got the windows to do. The window surrounds the mask and paint. We got, what else we got? The decals and the gloss coat, and then the polish. So it may look like we're fairly close to being done, but in reality, nowhere near. These are that way round, yes. Or is that the wrong slot? That's the wrong slot. That ain't gonna work, is it? It's that one. That one. I'm guessing these are going to be front splitter, so it's going to be visible over the under the front of the body. Whether I bother because it's saying the whole thing is semi-gloss black apart from a real fine strip across the front which is in blue. I think I might just leave the whole thing black. Thought of masking that off doesn't sound like fun. And as I said, the decal scheme doesn't look too tricky. There's the one across the bonnet that could prove a pig, although I might move that back a little just so I don't have to try and run it across the vents. Unless it is number 4, is it pre-sliced or anything like that? Let's have a look. It is pre-chopped up into pieces, so that's okay. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, so yeah. I was kind of worrying I'd have to get one in complete decal and then get it to sit, which it'd probably never do. So where are we at now? Letting that chooch, dry, cure, whichever is the correct term. Then I know I stuck the wheels on it, but stuck the tyres on the wheels, but we can soon pop them off, especially as it's nice and warm. Rubber gets a bit softer. They do have a very slight seam line down the middle of the tyres, but they're racing slicks. Anyone who's seen actual racing slicks, they do have a seam line down the middle of them. So yes, it's if you've got a big old flashy one in the middle there, then yeah, you're gonna have to do something about it. But with these, I think it probably come out of, well, it's Tamiya and they do make racing tyres for RC cars, so they kind of know what they're doing when it comes to moulding rubber. Wrong way, right way. I think it's a very minor seam line down there. I'm not going to bother with that. So that needs painting semi-gloss black. They need painting white. I know, seems silly. They're already white. Why paint them white? The paint is a better finish, to be honest, and all I'll get, it will be probably a coat of grey UMP primer and a coat of white UMP primer over that. The reasoning for that is that with the grey you can then see you've painted everything. Strange, I know, but you do kind of need to paint the whole thing. And the same with the white going over the grey, as you can then see, again, you've not missed any bits. And once these are painted, it'll be a case of pop the tyres back on, figure out how to use the dry rub decals or transfers for the tyres, which I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't think I'll get any spares to muck about with, so we shall see. Right, so that's everything. Go on in. Let's get everything off the sprue. So, the wing mirrors. What else do we have on here? Well, we have like 4 more parts that we actually need other than the clear parts, so that means we've got a spare set of wheels, which is never a bad thing. Yeah, they're pretty cool wheels and they should fit on other cars, so if you've got something as a kit, or especially a road car, because you can do what you like, and you're not a particular fan of the wheels on the road car in the kit, if you've got a spare set of wheels, you can always change them. Saves you buying aftermarket. And you know what, I've forgotten to do it again. I have forgotten to get myself more super glue, and I can guarantee you this is going to be super manky now. I think it has actually set. Shall we see? Not quite, it is very thick. You know, super glue's had it when it's gone stringy. So we just... It's almost as though Tamiya moulded these so you could super glue them onto something. I'll just give that a quick squirt. Yep, that's set solid. Go on. Yeah. Next time I'm in the model shop, I've got to remember buy some damn super glue. Well, model shop or hardware shop, doesn't really matter, it's all the same kind of stuff. Anyway, I reckon that'll do for this episode. We're at 27.5 minutes, so in the next episode I will be giving the body a final knockback, if I haven't already done it. So it might actually be decals, or it might be masking off the window trims. I've yet to figure out which way around I'm going to do that. I will have got all this stuff primed and probably, well, primed and painted in those cases. So yes, hopefully next time will be more body work and getting closer and closer to the finish line. So thanks for watching, enjoy modelling, have fun, don't paint your hand blue like I have. Peace out, rock on, bye bye.